You're before this panel today. It's 9:16 and we're at East Baton Rouge Parish. Let me make note of that. But you're in this hearing today to address violations to your parole. I'm going to read some information to your file, and then we're going to have a little discussion, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
On parole, from August 2023 until you were detained in 2024. I'm going to read the allegations against you, and I need you to enter a plea of guilty, not guilty, or guilty with a statement. Third, condition number 3 says that you failed to report a current address. Numerous attempts were made at the address of record, but all of them were unsuccessful. How do you plead?
I plead not guilty with a statement.
Okay. Number 4, you engaged in criminal conduct as evidenced by your arrest on or about 7/7/2024 by the Baton Rouge Police Department for domestic abuse battery. We note that on 8/12/2024, the state dismissed the charge on a letter presented by the DA's office by the victim. How do you plead?
Not guilty to that.
Okay. And number 10, you failed to make payments toward your supervision fees, and you're currently $567 in arrears.
I plead not guilty with a statement to all 3 questions, ma'am.
And we'll get to that statement here in just a little bit. In attendance today, we have 2 individuals in your support. We have one here at headquarters, Veronica Green, your fiance, who wishes to speak in your behalf. Ms. Green, if you'll stand at the podium and address the board. You stand looking toward behind the podium.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good right there. So what would you like to tell us?
He have a job or whatever, and he's ready for society.
Okay. Were you the victim in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he hold you on the bed?
He have a job and he's ready for society.
No, I'm not worried about all that. Did he hold you on the bed?
You don't have to answer if you don't want to, but. Okay. Thank you very much. We also have Latendra Stewart, family friend, that would like to speak on Zoom. Okay, she's not available now. So at this time, Mr. Crockett, if you'll answer some questions by Mr. Freeman.
Spend some quality time with their children today. It's part of the East Baton Rouge Parish Prison's One Day with Kids, an event where a group of men who completed a program which includes parenting classes are rewarded with a visit from their kids. The goal is to help the fathers understand and accept the responsibility of parenthood.
My whole life, now I see really what I've been missing by doing bad things.
Organizers say they blend accountability into their program to ensure families succeed together in healthy and positive ways. By the way, this is the 11th year that they have held this program.
Okay, Mr. Crockett. So what went down? Why were y'all arguing?
It was over, really nothing, just a misunderstanding, like a normal misunderstanding. There was no licks or nothing thrown. Wasn't even a fight, nothing occurred.
There was a knife involved. You did have a knife to your wrist.
No, sir. I never attempt to hurt myself or harm myself.
Okay, well, what did you have the knife for?
I never had a knife.
Wow. Okay, now you did totally change your story. Even at the preliminary hearing, you said you had a knife to protect yourself.
No, the statements on that doesn't state that I had the knife to protect myself. No, sir.
What
I
you
got
had the
the
knife
papers.
for?
The knife was just in the room and I just moved it out of the way.
Okay, but you
I,
didn't have.
I
You have a
have no
history
possession
of
of a
this,
knife to
right?
hurt myself, sir.
Okay, but you did have two witnesses to this. And now she has recanted her story, but there was two other witnesses also. I have no further questions.
You said you had a statement for number 3 allegations there. Number 3. So tell me, what is your statement for number 3? It says on number 3, you failed to report a current address. Numerous attempts were made at the address of record, but all were unsuccessful.
Hey, ma'am, I had a stroke in October and I had to go away from that address so I could get took care of.
And as a 5th felony offender, you don't know how to reach out to your probation and parole officer and let them know?
Yes, ma'am, me and her had discussed it about my stroke and everything.
I don't see any notes in the record.
I'm talking about once I was right during the preliminary hearing. I was in bad shape, ma'am. And I apologize for it. I just was asking the board, would they give me another chance to prove myself, please?
Okay, so it was less than a year that you've been out this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Less than a year. There was a pretty clear police report as to what happened. So you're saying what they said happened did not happen?
No, man, we just had an argument, man. It wasn't nothing, wasn't no physical contact. I don't know how it all got mixed up like this, but it wasn't no physical contact. It's just a misunderstanding, an argument.
And that's where you were going to live to get better after your stroke?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Prater, do you have any questions for the?
No, ma'am.
When we have a clear report of what happened, you know, as a convicted felon, you're not even supposed to have a knife in your possession.
Well, it wasn't, it was a knife for cutting for watermelon. I can't cut, you know, for fruit. It wasn't no knife like, no knife of no weapon or nothing that you pack around. It's a house knife. You cut fruits with.
And why didn't you pay your fees?
Ma'am, I haven't been able to work, ma'am. I had a stroke, a serious stroke, and Baton Rouge General Rehabilitation Center, I've been there. And Dr. Joseph Freeman, that's my primary care doctor.
So, according to your fiance, you have a job waiting for you.
Well, yes, ma'am. I'm back in the condition to work now.
So, when you left prison the last time, you were in a transitional work program?
Yes, ma'am, in work release.
And where was that job?
That was in Roanoke, Louisiana.
So
It
you
was
could
metal plate galvanizing.
you paroled out to a different area and couldn't keep that job?
Yes, ma'am. I came back home to Baton Rouge and the job, I couldn't keep the job. It was in Roanoke. That was a long ways from here. And right after I talked to Miss Lori on video call in October, I had a stroke.
I mean, I'm sitting here looking at the file, and our agents do a good job of notating each contact, even if it's more than once a day. And I see no information in this packet that indicated that you contacted her to change residence or that you had a stroke or anything.
We had one video call, and that was October, ma'am. That was before my stroke. After my stroke, I didn't have no contact with her. I'm being honest.
Saying, so you were supposed to, after you had your stroke, let her know where you were going. So she can't supervise someone she can't find.
Yes, ma'am. You're absolutely correct.
So, okay, do we have now, Ms. Stewart, did she join us? No. Ms. Stewart, is that, are you, a family friend?
I'm a friend of the family, ma'am. Good
Okay,
morning.
Good morning. Would you like to make a statement on behalf of Mr. Crockett?
Yes, ma'am, I would. I'm a friend of the family, and Korey Crockett has worked for my son and I with Tiger Paw Roofing. And yes, he had a stroke, and I also was directing him and helping him to get back on his feet in reference to helped him locate a doctor. When he's in when you get ill, you really can't think straight as far as who you need to call or whenever because you're hospitalized. But I was there to witness what he was going through. And I also have a job waiting for him because he worked for me and my son. And he did an excellent job. So I also have a job waiting for him if he need one at Tiger Paw Roofing here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Thank
You're welcome.
I want to ask Mr. Crockett, where do you plan to reside if you were released?
2920 Sherwood
With-
Street.
With whom? Who lives there?
My fiance.
The same one who was the potential victim in this.
Yes, ma'am. But, I would like to speak on this part. Our butterfly it's a program I was going to take and involve myself into a domestic program to better things on how to control situations if they occur in this matter. But we wouldn't have any problems like that. Like we don't fight or nothing. It just was a misunderstanding, ma'am. And I would appreciate it if y'all would give me another try, please.
Okay. I think the panel is prepared to vote. Mr. Crockett, the time for taking those classes is before you come up for revocation, so that it didn't happen. You've had a history of domestic abuse battery in your past, so
Well, ma'am, if you read the background of that, that was a very toxic thing, and the lady that was doing it to me, she was just doing it on the strength of what I'm trying to fight for now, a custody battle of a little girl, 5-year-old baby, and she's the lady doing it to me.
I'm looking at the facts of the case, not the background.
Yes,
Facts
ma'am.
are that you have had a history. There was police brought out, there was some allegations. I see some evidence that there was some abuse that had gone on because we have witnesses to this. My vote today, I find you guilty of number 3 and 4 and 10. So my vote is to revoke. Mr. Freeman?
My vote is the same, and I'm not giving comment on what went down, but my vote is the same.
Mr. Prater?
That he be revoked violations of 3, 4, and 10.
Thank you very much, sir. Today your parole has been revoked.
How much time I got?
Thank you, Lieutenant Murphy.
Hey, how y'all doing this morning? My name is Jeremy Jones. My DOC number is 723-046.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jones. What we're going to be doing is reading some information, some little housekeeping details, and then we'll be asking some questions. And we also have some people who are here in support of you. Mr. Jones, you're a second-class offender, and you are on parole starting. Well, I don't have that right here, but you were charged with violating your parole in that you had some criminal conduct. I'm going to read this charge against you, and you need to enter a plea of guilty, not guilty, or guilty with the statement. Okay. Okay. Number 4 says you were involved in criminal activity as evidenced by the East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office for domestic abuse, battery, child endangerment. It notes that on 7/15/2024, the state dismissed the charges. How do you plead on that allegation?
Not guilty.
Number 6, you failed to obtain employment. How do you plead?
Not guilty. I could be not guilty with a statement to that.
Guilty with the statement?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And number 10, you failed to pay supervision fees and you're currently $378 in arrears.
Not guilty.
We have some individuals here today who would like to speak on your behalf, and we will allow them to do that at this time before we get into the questioning. We have Donald Stevenson, your grandfather. Sir, if you would like to stand and address the panel, and let us know what you have to say.
Now, my name is Donald Stevenson. That's my grandson. And I just lost my son. His dad, a couple of weeks ago. And grandson, he's not really no bad child. And what he charged with, the girl came on his premise, messing with him. And he have a child, a big child, and I make sure he get a job and everything. I'm six years old and I be there for him.
Oh, my condolences on the loss of your son and father. I'm very sorry that you had to deal with that. Thank you for coming. Appreciate that. Also, your mother, Campbell.
Okay. I just wanted to let you guys know, there he is with that child. He did make a few mistakes in the past, and he has grown from that. Okay. He's grown from that, and he has a baby that has been in the NICU for over 6 weeks, and he just recently came home, and the mother is stressed out by herself, trying to do everything on her own, sick child. And also I am his mother, and I was born with his father, and we just lost him. I have a house full of teenage boys, and I need some guidance. I need some help, and he would be a big help in my home.
Thank you.
I had wrote on the back that I want to say, but I'm his grandmother, but I can speak.
Yes, you speak.
Yeah, so Jeremy is my grandson, and like I say, I'm a hard-working grandmother, and I just lost my son maybe a month ago, and it's his father. And I know Jeremy made mistakes in the past, but he has really realized that you have to grow. He's grown, and he's trying to get his life stable, and I help her with the children, carpooling and taking them to school and back and forth, plus I work. So it'll be a big help for Jeremy to get out and try to lead by example to his younger brothers, since their father's deceased and stuff, and help with his sick little baby. And I appreciate you considering I'm a spirit-filled woman, and I'm a hard-working woman, and I help him to get a job as well and pay his back fees.
Thank you very much. Mr. Jones, you're very blessed to have family support. I'd like to address what happened in this allegation, because there is some evidence that there is some harm done to this victim. What was the name of your victim?
The person who had pressed the charge, her name was Marquivia Black.
Okay. And what happened in that incident? Tell me your side of the story.
Well, the reason why she was even there, because that was somebody who I used to deal with, and she got into her and her sister had a fight, and she ain't had nowhere to go. She felt unsafe at home by herself. So that's why we accepted her inside. So she was just there for to be there over the night. And she had a fight with her sister. That's the only reason why she had a bruise on her. It was not for me. When she came there, she found out that my girlfriend was pregnant. And then when she found out my girlfriend was pregnant, she got in her feelings, and she went to causing chaos, and she called the police. And she just made it to where it looked like I was the one who caused her harm, but you had a fight before you even got to us. That's the wrong reason why you was at our house, because you had a fight. You said you was scared. You don't want to be you didn't want to be at your house alone.
So she is not the mother of the child that you just had.
Oh no, ma'am, no, ma'am. Me and her don't have no dealings. We don't even communicate
Well, why did you let her in your house?
because we was dealing with each other at the time. That was, we had history before. She was a friend at the time, and I was just trying to help her out
So where would you live if you were released?
with my baby mother.
So the witness stated that she heard the argument that happened.
Right.
So what were you arguing about?
Because we tried to see when she found out about that my girlfriend was pregnant, she went to cause chaos. So we asked her to leave, and she just wouldn't leave. So we arguing about her leaving.
Who is we? Who else was involved? Who was at this house?
Me, it's my baby mother house. Me, her, my sister, her cousin. It was like five of us. It was just a big old argument, like five of us in the house.
So where are all these other people who said that it didn't happen? Why aren't they here?
Because the charges were dismissed, and they were there at trial.
And we have evidence of the victim having injury to her eye and the back of her head. How did she get those injuries?
Her sister had a fight. That's the reason why she was there, because her sister had a fight. She said she was scared. Me and her ain't never had no physical altercation at all.
Mr. Freeman, do you have any questions?
I have no questions.
Mr. Prater,
No, ma'am, I don't know.
have you ever had any anger management classes?
Yes, ma'am. I had one in the past.
Did you learn how to avoid situations like this?
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Why didn't you take that tact? I mean, you're on parole.
Right.
You know what your full term date is? Do you know?
2031.
Yeah. I'd like to go into an executive session.
I'll make a motion for executive session.
Steve Freeman?
Yes.
Jerry Ledoux? Yeah. Steve Freeman? Yeah. Okay, the time is now 9:54 and the parole committee is reconvening. Mr. Jones, as I noted earlier, you do have some very good support. For the life of me, I have no way to understand why that victim or potential victim, whoever, was in that house with you and those kinds of situations. I don't understand. Okay?
You say you don't understand what, ma'am?
I don't understand why Ms. Black was in that house with you guys in that kind of tumultuous situation. That makes no sense to me.
She was a
You got two girlfriends hanging out. I mean, like, I don't get it. But anyway, I'm going to be voting first because of your support and because of the situation. I don't have any.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Madam Chairman, but before we vote, did I miss us voting to come out of executive session?
We did.
No, we did not vote to come out.
Jerry Ledoux? Here. Steve Freeman?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Prater, for that.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
So today I am going to not revoke you, but you're going to have some special conditions. You're going to be immediately caught up on your fees. You are going to go to the, and that's only my vote. They take anger management at the day reporting center and have absolutely no contact with the potential victim in the situation. You are backing up a lot of time. You've got to get right. And family, if he fails, you're all going down. Because
Man.
okay. Mr. Freeman?
Okay, my vote is the same. Go to the day reporting center, your probation officer will set it up, take anger management class. Absolutely no contact with Makisha Black.
Yes, sir.
You understand? No contact. He was not to ever stay at your house again.
Most
Okay.
definitely. Yes, sir.
Mr. Kreider?
Reluctantly concur with everyone else. I think everybody on this panel is kind of scared of you. We're not scared of you physically. We're scared you're gonna screw up again. This is your last chance, okay? You'll be in jail for another 10 years if you don't get straight this time.
Yes, sir.
Don't give us a reason to have you before us again, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so today you've not been revoked. You do have special conditions placed upon you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank all of y'all.
The Baton Rouge Police Department responded to a burglary at the Cherry Creek Apartments on December 15th, 2016 around 7:30 a.m. Terry Moore, then 28, allegedly committed multiple burglaries and admitted he, along with a friend he knows, took an air compressor, a Ryobi drill, a DeWalt chainsaw, and 2 extension cords from the apartments and placed them by the back fence of the complex. He stated that he used his shoulder to break open doors of all 6 apartments. During the investigation, a victim stated that his car battery was taken from his vehicle. The victim stated that he may have left the doors of his vehicle open and the battery was taken from under the hood. The officer who responded did not observe any signs of forced entry into the vehicle. It was also learned through the National Crime Information Center, NCIC, that Moore's vehicle had a stolen license plate. According to the report, Moore does have a prior criminal history of theft of goods and 3 counts of second-degree battery. He was booked into the East Baton Rouge Parish Prison on 7 counts of simple burglary, illegal possession of stolen things, and vehicle burglary. This is my voice without cleaning the audio, but when I clean the audio, it takes out the air, but it does make my voice sound differently than it actually is. Just wanted to let y'all know. And hello.
Would you introduce yourself and give us your DOC number?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Terry Moore. My DOC number is 579414.
Okay. Mr. Moore, you're before this panel for allegations of violation of your parole conditions. I'm going to read some allegations against you, and I need you to plead either guilty, not guilty, or guilty with statement. Allegation number 4, you were arrested on 6/10/2024 by the Baton Rouge Police Department for battery of a dating partner. You were actually billed with 12 counts of battery under docket DC 2402866. You pled guilty to the reduced charge of 2 counts of disturbing the peace by fisticuffing encounter on 8/12/2024. How do you plead?
I pleaded guilty with a statement.
Mr. Moore, we have on speaker Andrea Watson, who wanted to make a comment, and we're going to allow her to do that now.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead, Ms. Watson.
Yes, good morning. I want to say, I do believe that there is capable of being in the society. Our incident that happened. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm sorry. Our incident that happened, he didn't actually physically put his hand on me.
Okay. Did you have a protective order against him at some point?
Yes, I did.
And you're telling me it was not active?
Yes, I believe it was not active.
How many times have you called the police because of domestic concerns in the past?
I'm sorry?
How many times have you called the police because of domestic concerns in the past?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
Give me a good guess.
Maybe 3 or 4 times.
3 or 4 times against Mr. Moore. Okay, thank you for your comments today. I'm gonna go ahead and put you on mute. You can listen to the rest of the hearing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Moore,
Yes, ma'am.
there's a note in the file that police have been called to your residence to this home multiple times for domestic abuse concerns. Are you saying you've never battered your Miss Watson?
No, ma'am. She only called them on a. Miss Watson only called the police out of protection. The same that what I do, I call the police for protection, and on behalf of not having no one to call upon. So I understand her reasons for calling the police.
Okay, so why did you plead to a amended charge?
The reason I pled to the charge, because it was told to me, like I pled to a lesser charge because I feel like it'll get me out the boat, but for some apparent reason, I wish I could have took took it to trial, could have got it dismissed, throw it out. As Andrea speak up on my behalf, she wanted to get the charge dropped and throw it out. But I went on and try to get it out the way, get it dropped to a lesser charge, thinking the best of the situation. But I should have never even pled guilty to nothing. Should have just went to trial and went through the issue. I try to get this thing handled early so I can be able to get up out of jail faster. But as I'm sitting in here, it has been 4 months. And it's been 2 months since I've been sitting in jail with no courts or nothing. I'm just sitting on and was waiting on you guys.
So how long were you out on parole?
I recently had got out of reentry here, April 19th. I was out of jail maybe only 50 days. I went home immediately, got a job, fell in motion of paying bills, and I immediately got a job. I got out that Friday and I was working Monday. I gained 6 checks. From there, we had a disagreement that was called with the police, which got me transferred to the prison. So all that could have been avoided. It was a phone call that was just mistakenly called. I understand the reason why though, but
why? She said she's afraid of you. Why would she have said she was afraid of you?
why would she say she is afraid of me? Honestly, Andrea deals with like anxiety, depression, and I was being passive assertive. It was never aggression at all. It was just me speaking my voice, and I never really get loud at all with her. So, it surprised her with me getting loud. I always talk passive aggressive, assertive. Ask you is you all right, ask if everything's going well. But for some apparent reason, that particular day, that particular morning, we had got loud, and she stormed.
You had a knife?
No,
right?
ma'am. No, ma'am.
But the police report tells us.
No one never had a knife in a situation, ever. No one never had a knife.
Okay, Mr. Prater, do you have any questions?
Yes, ma'am. How many times have you been under supervision by either the police or the Department of Corrections?
To be honest, sir, I've been on parole since 2016 from a simple burglary charge. So like when small teeniest things like this happen, it keeps me in prison with a hole, so I can't burn out. So I've been under supervision since 2016, under parole.
Okay, were you ordered as part of your parole not to be in contact with this person?
Once before before I got out of prison, I was told to not contact Andrea. It violated me once before on parole. I got out. I had my address to Andrea, and that's why I got paroled to. And from what I know, it was no active restraining order, nothing like that. It was a time that my PO at the time, Robin Doxson, she had put a restraining order on me on the behalf of it, and I sent a text message to Andrea, and that what had violated me at the time. But me and Andrea we don't have no type of deflection. That was only a mad moment. It only be an argument that just dispersed her. When she get angry, she'll call the police. And that's the only reason why the police get calling matters. When it should be talked about, it should be talked like grown humans. It's never been a physical altercation. It's always been a verbal altercation.
I don't have any other questions.
Freeman?
I have no questions, but I mean, just a word of advice. This is not a good way to be on parole with the police getting called all the time.
All the time, right?
Right. Okay. I don't have any questions.
And I'm not a bad person at all.
But if you were let go today, where would you go?
I would go to my mom's house. My mom's she'll take me in. I'll be able to get a job. I got a job immediately when I leave and get out of here. I do floors, but I have a job immediately. I have transportation. I'll be around my kids.
What's going to happen if Miss Watson doesn't like that arrangement?
No, we come to agreement to we most definitely came to agreement to have an understanding on the situation. She's not going to have no problem with that at all. I'm pretty sure she could tell you that.
I'd like to go into executive session.
Make a motion for executive session.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have returned from executive session. I needed to take that opportunity to clarify this report that I was reading. Mr. Moore, you pled guilty to criminal mischief. You have a history with this victim, and you had a protective order that was drawn up, and it's been violated. And so today my vote is going to be to revoke your parole based on pleading guilty to number 4. Mr. Freeman?
I concur.
And Mr. Prater?
I concur. He violated condition 4, and he needs to stay away from this woman.
So today, sir, your parole has been revoked. So it's 10:20, and that concludes our business at the Baton Rouge Parish. Thank you.